How much air pressure do you generate? How much do you need to play high easily? How can you develop more? My one simple exercise will not only test yours, but help you build it too. Welcome to the Trumpet Prof channel, bringing you trumpet education at a much higher level. I'm Paul Mays, and this channel is for advanced players and teachers looking for a deeper understanding of the trumpet and how to take their playing to the next level. You'll find tutorials and lectures on a whole range of trumpet related topics, so please consider subscribing, and why not get involved with the channel? Leave me a question or a comment or any thoughts that you have about these videos, because that way we can make sure we get the content just right for you. And I would really appreciate it if you like today's video, if you'd click on that like button. Okay, let's get into the video. So what do I mean by air pressure? Well, take your mouthpiece, put it inside your mouth and just sigh. You can feel there's not really a build-up of air pressure there because the air's moving quite quickly because the resistance is quite low. Now we're going to add some resistance. So just put your finger halfway over the end of your mouthpiece and do the same thing again. Just sigh through it. So that time you can feel the air moving much slower because the resistance is higher, and you can feel inside that you have more air pressure. Now if we do that one more time and we gradually start to speed up the air, you'll really feel those exhalation muscles, those blowing muscles start to work. You can really feel a kind of a natural tension going on to force that air through that high resistance. So these muscles are ultimately responsible for generating air pressure. And the more air pressure you can generate, the higher you have the potential to go. Now do it one last time. This time, increase the air pressure as quickly as you can. Really accelerate, 0 to 60 in 2 seconds, and really feel those muscles working. Now, do you remember this exercise from my last high note video, 3 essential tips? Take a look. Now, I didn't do very much there at all. I'll just do it again. So all I'm doing there is what you've just done, increasing the air pressure as fast as I can. I'm really kicking it. So if you haven't seen that video, I would really advise you to watch it all the way through, because I'm trying to produce these videos step by step, and one kind of leads on from the other within the topic category, so the high note category which we're doing today. So I'll leave a link below to that and check that out if you haven't seen it. So you might be wondering, well, how high can this take me? Well, I found this guy on YouTube. He seems to have worked it out pretty well. So, what I haven't used there, and what this video isn't about, is compression techniques. Now, there are loads of them out there online. I'm sure you've seen them, and they are really effective. But that's not what this video is about today. We'll get onto the enhancements another time. What we're doing today is not about technique. It's just about building strength. And everything that you saw me do in that video and the one before doesn't involve a technique. It's just purely strength building. We want to build your core strength, your kind of inner strength, so you have a really strong natural ability to compress air. So basically we're going to do some weight training, And you're going to need a few things to help you in order to do this exercise. The first thing is you're going to need something you can blow down that has a good amount of resistance. Now, I use a straw. This is a sip straw, not those kind of milkshake straws. They don't have enough resistance. This is a sip straw. It's a 3mm diameter, and it just adds the right amount of resistance. The best place actually to get them is on the side of a small carton of juice. They mostly come attached, but sometimes annoyingly they don't. So if you can grab one of those, that will be ideal to use. If you can't and you want to have a go at this right now, maybe you've got one of those old cheap biro pens laying about the house. You can always take the refill of that out and you'll just be left with the shell. It doesn't have quite the same level of resistance, but it will certainly be okay for you to be getting on with for now. Now, to do some weight training, we're going to need some weights. And I use 2p pieces. They're just about a good size. You can stack them really well. If you haven't got access to 2p pieces, if you're in the States, then you could just use quarters. They're absolutely fine. If you're in Europe and you're part of the euro, you could use 50-cent euro coins. They work equally as well. And I'll make some comparisons as we go along with those coins. So the other thing that you'll need is a good flat surface. Now, it has to be a shiny surface. Now, I carry around what I call my power board. I take this to masterclasses and lessons with me, again, because it keeps things consistent. And we're using the same equipment every time. So we can really tell and see the progress that's being made. But any flat surface is good. It needs to be shiny, and it needs to be at a height where you maintain good posture. So let's start with one coin. Put it on the surface. Remember, you need good posture for this. So the only rule that you need to know is that you mustn't touch the tip of the straw or the pen, whatever you're using, against the coin. You can get as close as you like, but just make sure that the tip doesn't actually touch the coin. So put it on the shiny surface, take a deep breath and sigh through the straw until the coin moves. As soon as it's moved, you can stop and then add another coin. And add another. The bigger coins are ideal because they stack much better than the smaller coins. But I guess you could use anything for a weight. So we move 3 there. And we go on and on and on with that until you reach your limit. Now, this is very, very important because there'll come a point where you won't be able to blow any more coins. Don't keep trying to blow more coins because you'll strain your throat. Who knows, you might start slipping discs and things like that. We don't want to do that. You have to proceed with caution with this exercise, just as you do with any form of weight training. So as soon as you get to the point where you can't shift any more coins, then stop. And that is the level that you're at. So if you can blow 3 coins, then practice with 3 coins. Don't practice trying to blow 4 coins. Always practice blowing what you can blow, because it's really important that you see the movement and you see that you actually are shifting those coins rather than trying to blow at something that just isn't moving. And then kind of every maybe 3 or 4 days, you can add that extra coin and just see if that starts to move. It won't take very long, and I think you'll be quite surprised with the results that you get. So what I love about this exercise is that you can really see your development. You can see those coins moving. You can see that you're generating more air pressure, higher air pressure. And you're building those sensations that you can then try to transfer to the trumpet. So how many coins should you be looking at blowing? Well, 2p pieces, probably around 5 or 6 is a good place to aim for. That's going to give you enough strength to have a really comfortable, efficient high range. Yes, there are other things that can get in the way of that. We'll get onto those in future videos. But I think however you play at the moment, whatever technique you use, developing the ability to generate greater air pressure is only going to help you. I've got to eventually 9 2-pence pieces. I do actually have a student that moved 10. So Reese, if you're watching, you are the bionic man. So as you're able to blow more coins, you should be able to kick to higher notes, as long as you're really using the air pressure and you don't start to trigger those responses in the face. So moving that onto the trumpet in more practical terms, make sure that you use the coin exercise with the air kick exercise that I demonstrated from my last video earlier on. Those two work really, really well together. You can see your air pressure development with the coins, and you can hear the air pressure development by kicking up to higher notes with the trumpet. So use those two together. Thanks everyone for your questions and comments recently. I'd just like to get back to you on a few things now. The first is to say I do have 2 other channels on YouTube. The first is Paul May's Trumpet. Now that channel's been up for a while. I don't post on it too often, but I did upload a video the other day on me demonstrating my new trumpet, just doing a bit of freestyling on it. So if you haven't seen that, then check that out. I'll leave a link to that below. And my other channel is called Trumpet Takeaway, and that's very much for players who just play for fun, just kind of play as a hobby. So if you know anyone like that, be great if you could steer them in the direction of Trumpet Takeaway. I'm sure there's loads there for them to enjoy and loads of tips to help them play better. The other topic that came up a couple of times was that of embouchure setting. Now, what is the best way to set the embouchure? There isn't a best way to set the embouchure. It's a completely personal thing. There are certain areas of the embouchure that that you can try to improve on, like top lip relaxed. That's going to help pretty much everybody. But the other areas are more personal. So we will get into those later on the Trumpet Prof channel, and I'll try and help you determine what is going to work for you and what isn't based on your physical attributes. We'll do that on future videos. But the only tip that I would give you is don't try to look the same as the players you want to sound the same as. The reason they sound so good and they have the ability that they have, that's because of stuff you can't see, not because of the stuff you can see. So save yourself a bit of time and don't try to copy the way that they look. Hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, then please click that like button. If you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing that too. But for now, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.